name is Kelsey Thrower, and I'm doing this video for Miss Vaughn's Intro to Teaching class. I did my observations in BB Early Childhood Building in the BB School District. My 30 hours of observations were performed in Mrs. Vance's first grade classroom. I performed all 30 hours of observations in 14 days, with my first day being September 29th and my last being October 24th. I chose this site because I was very interested to see how well it compared to my hometown of Bologna and the elementary schools there. To my surprise, it did not compare to Bologna as well as I might thought. BB and Bologna are very well the same size, and I thought they'd be a lot more than they were. In Bologna, kindergarten through third grade are all in the same building. In BB, kindergarten and first grader by themselves, second and third grader by themselves, and fourth grader by themselves. I found this very strange, but after talking with my observation teacher, she said that the school board had looked into other school districts and that they decided that separating these age groups would help with student development. I would consider BB School District to consist of mostly lower to middle class families. 59.9% of their students receive free or reduced lunches. With this being an income-based program, it makes sense that majority of the families do struggle. I was very excited to start my observations at this site. Being in the same class for 15 days was very exciting and put light into my eyes what really goes on. The seating arrangement in this classroom I found to be very interesting. The student tables were set into groups of 4 to 6 students per group. Each group was named by a day of the week. There was 5 groups, so Monday through Friday. Miss Vance would, if all the students of one group were all together at one time, they would receive a table point. If they were all ready or doing everything she asked, they'd get a table point. Whichever group had the most table points at the end of the semester received a reward. I really liked the way these were laid out. It really helped with students' abilities to work with each other and to Miss Vance to focus on more than one student at one time when she moved around. The downfall to this would be if Miss Vance was using her smartboard, there was 2 tables in the back that they would all have to stand up to see because of the way the smartboard was positioned, and over half the class would have to turn their chairs around to see the smartboard, which is okay, but it makes it hard for the student to write and do their work and look at the board at the same time. Overall, I'm a fan of this. I believe it made the students want to get that reward, and I believe she did a very well at designing this room and the style it was. The classroom management. This classroom's, most of their misbehavior occurred during this transition times. Whether it was between activities or going back and forth between specials. The misbehaviors include talking out, shouting out answers, or just not following the general classroom rules that were posted. This school uses a ticket system. If a student is seen doing something they're supposed to do and or just going out of their way, they would receive a ticket. If a child receives 10 tickets, they would earn a reward. This could be anything like computer time, treasure box, getting to read a book to the class, or even getting to eat lunch with Mrs. Vance. If bad behavior continues, a ticket can be taken away. If the ticket punishment does not work, the next go-to punishment seemed to be making them walk laps at recess. And it would start at 1 lap. If the behavior did not stop, it would slowly go up. I'm personally not a fan of making children sit out at recess. I think they need to have that time, and there needs to be time for them to run off all their energy. I don't think taking them out of a recess is a good idea. I think there should be other ways, like the ticket system, but I think it needs to be enforced more and not directly go to. This class seems to react really well to this approach. If anything was mentioned about walking laps, they automatically knew that they needed to stop. And I believe that these classroom management techniques have to be altered for each class. You might have a class that is way talkative and one that's fairly quiet and misbehaves in other ways. In my opinion, Miss Vance had a very well-behaved class, and they understood what punishments could occur if they did not react appropriately. The classroom learning, I was very shocked to find that there was no textbook used in this class. I understand it's first grade, but I would think there would be something that they had to follow. This class focuses on the use of literacy binders, writing notebooks, and math worksheets. After getting to look through the binders, it really covered anything a basic textbook would in first grade. I believe Miss Vance did an amazing job at connecting the material they're learning to outside lives at school. She would connect math to eating candy or having toys, and vocabulary would be used to recognize a popular game show or a TV show. Writing, the students basically had a free range. Miss Vance would give them a wide topic of why I love fall or the silly scarecrow and what you did with it, and they could do whatever they wanted with it. She would have certain guidelines that they have to meet, but overall, they were free to write, and I really liked that about this classroom. During the time I was in this classroom, I observed Red Ribbon Week and Career Day. Red Ribbon Week is nationally recognized. I did it when I was in elementary school, and the elementary school that I work at after school does it too. They got to dress up or bring special items. They had Pajama Day, Character Day, Stuffed Animal Day, and Spirit Day. What I also found really interesting while I was here, they had a Career Day. This is when they highlighted jobs in the community. So that we had pharmacists come, police officers, even drone flyers, military, and a concrete pumper truck. That was really cool. I see Common Core heavily implemented during math over literacy. Every math worksheet that they did come directly from Common Core. There was no extra worksheets that I ever saw. It was all directly printed from Common Core. Common Core is also implemented in their morning work. They would do what they called a phonemic binder, and it was a printed binder from Common Core that just had them breaking words and breaking sounds and adding sounds. I thought it was pretty neat. It changed every day. They did the same thing, but it was different. The learning activities I observed in this classroom that Ms. Vance used heavily were competitions, stations, and smartboard worksheets. This class did 1 or 2 math sheets every day on the smartboard. The only thing I did not like about these smartboard worksheets were it didn't seem like emphasis on getting them done. They worked through them on the smartboard, and there didn't ever seem to be any checking of the answers or making sure they were getting it done. As soon as it was done, they went into the the take-home folder. This specific class, there's very little teacher talk at students and lots of classroom discussion. They would do in their CGI binder, they would do word problems that they could connect to. I can cut that out. Crap, hang on. They did CGI binders where they did word problems and they could connect real world opportunities to this, and they would go up and explain on the smartboard how each student got their answer. This class also used the website BrainPop and for all kinds of subjects. They used it mainly for science, and social studies. They watched a Columbus Day video and watched videos on bats. This classroom climate I found to be very positive. The students were always lots of smiling and sharing. They always wanted to tell me or Miss Vance about their class and why, about their weekend and what happened. I was a personal fan of having all the students share about what they did on the weekend, but after being in this classroom, I see where that can be a bad idea because not all students want to share. Some students have a very rough life, and it makes it very hard for them to share because they don't want to be embarrassed by their peers. Overall, I would say this classroom had a fantastic climate. There are limitations for all the students, but they seem to love being in the classroom. This would be one of the biggest compliments I could give Mrs. Vance. Every one of her students seems to enjoy being in her classroom. I found in this classroom there was always some students resisting learning. There was 2 or 3 boys who, no matter what, were doing something to get out of what they were doing. In this classroom, I found that it was obviously more the boys over the girls who would resist learning. They would, and I'm sure that changes in every classroom. In this classroom, there could be 3 boys, in the other classroom, there could be 3 girls. They seemed to always be daydreaming or preoccupied with their pencil or their colors, whatever it was they could get in their hands. That's all they could worry about. I don't really like that there wasn't more emphasis on making these students learn. I understand you can't force a kid to sit still, but there needs to be more reaction to them when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. The teaching approach that Ms. Vance used, I believe, was a mix of a traditional and constructive approach. Ms. Vance did lots of partner work that I believe came from the more traditional side, but there was set rules, and that comes from the constructive approach. I believe that both approaches have their benefits, but I prefer the constructivist over the traditional because it brings the student more closer to the teacher, and I think it allows the teacher to have a better connection with the students. My experience in this first grade classroom was amazing. I wish I could go back and spend the rest of the year with them just to see how everything works and how each student progresses. This class worked perfect for my schedule. We both were available in the prime spots. I got to see all the morning work and some of writing, and then when I came back, I'd see all the math. Every day I saw math and how it was taught every day. I got to assist with lots of activities in math and writing. In math, we did a double facts competition, and there I just got to judge which student got the answer right first. And in writing, I got to walk around the classroom and help the students process their thoughts and make sure they got the right words to the paper. Overall, I would say my experience was very positive. I gained so much in my 15 days of observation. Miss Vance helped me in ways I don't think anybody could. She brought light to my eyes. And this is all I have. Thank you.